shuttle over to Planet Brad. What's going on?
Here we go. Perfect landing. All right. So I grabbed onto the word increasing today, increasing the love and connection with the people that you already have come in touch with. So I'll hit on that. Like what really sparked is I've just seen a new commercial that's running. It was at least running it all this weekend. And I don't watch a lot of TV. I actually pay attention to commercials more than I do TV shows. I'm like numb to TV shows, but I was watching football, of course. And there's a Jesus commercial out there right now where they kind of show the families arguing and getting separated and everybody wants to be right. As they flash your mics if you've seen this commercial. Like it's starting to run all over, and I know we're not a lot of big TV people. Anyway, they just kind of talk about, how they show family members getting in arguments and it's the holidays and they start separating and they want to be right and blah blah blah. And it's like, so this is where I'm going with. We already have people that know us, like us, and trust us, and people love hanging around people they already know. And yet, in business, many times we go out and try to talk strangers into doing business with us when the people who already know us, like us, and trust us might actually be a good customer, and they're probably going to need our product or service at some point in their life. So, how this is what I want you guys to look at. If you can do this while I'm talking, just write your numbers down while I'm going through this. First thing is just to click on your Facebook icon and look at your friends tab. And it should tell you how many Facebook friends you have. So I want you to write that number down somewhere if you can, if you're not driving, obviously. So how many Facebook friends do you have? Another one is how many contacts are in your cell phone? So when you go to your cell phone front screen, type in the word contacts or go to the contacts icon. Scroll on iPhone users, scroll to the very bottom and you'll see your total there. On Android users, I think there's a way to see how many people are in there. I've got a screenshot that I found that just shows, I have 4,967 Facebook friends. And all of my contacts in my cell phone, somehow there's 19,000 people that are in my cell phone. Like it's grabbed it from Gmail and calls that have come in and calls I've made, and it grabs people's information and throws it into your contact. So, I mean, I've got like 25,000 people that are Facebook friends or in my cell phone that I have talked to or they have talked to me, right? So, write down that number. You can also even do a little bonus and look at your outgoing phone calls that you've made, your incoming phone calls that you made. Gosh, go to your email. Go to your email box and look at your inbox and your sent box. These are all people that we communicate with every single day. So if you guys want to unmute, just shout out some numbers. If you know what your Facebook friends and your cell phone contacts are, shout out some numbers if you got them. I'm going to guess somewhere between 1,000 to 2,000 is at the very minimum. The group on this
3,500, 5,000,
yep.
all over the place.
And I'm going to guess pretty much everybody on this stage is probably somewhere around 5,000 to 10,000 or even more. And most people, when I do this, just with an average person that might not even be focusing on it, is always around a couple thousand by the time you add them all up. So here's my question. And Tony, this comes back to what you said earlier, picking up the phone and calling your mom. Look at that list. How many of those people have heard your voice and you had a two-way meaningful conversation with them in the last week, in the last 30 days, in the last 6 months? I mean, look at that list. How many of them have had a meaningful conversation with you in the last year? Wow, kind of gets scary here. So when we talk about increasing love and connection, I'm bringing you back to start with the people that we already know, like, and trust, who might, whether they know, like, and whether they like us and trust us yet is irrelevant. We might be losing that by not staying in touch with them. But these are people that we are in contact with and we can strengthen the relationship. So that's what I'm going to throw on the table today for everyone to take this holiday time to connect with as many people as possible. Now, 25,000 might seem a little unmanageable, but if I just did 5 a day, I would contact 1,200 of those people every year. In 5 years, I'm only going to get to 6,000 of them if I do 5 a day every single day for the rest of my life. and reconnect with 5 of them a day, I will get to 6,000 of those 25,000 in the next 5 years. So it's not about talking to all 25,000 of them. It's about just increasing your love and connection.
I love it. Listen, and nobody does that. Nobody does the reach out and contact the way Brad does. I've spoken to him. I've gotten cards from him. I mean, seriously, this guy walks his talk as far as the connection thing. And it's exactly like you said. If you just call 2 or 3 people a day from your phone, and not the same 2 or 3 every day, of course you could, but just add. It's those small increments, those small changes, those small habits, like those small hinges, they swing big doors. Just make 1 or 2 or 3 connections. Send a text message, send an email, well, preferably not email. You know, you send me an email, it's not personal. That's just the way I am. Of course, some people communicate that way, but text or message in other ways, or there's so many different ways of reaching out to people. So definitely reach out, because somebody needs to hear from you today. That's why when I think about someone, I call them emphatic